Hello and welcome to Bike Ride Reviews. I'm your host Scott, bringing you everything you need to know about the latest e-bikes. Today we have another exciting bike in the studio, the Obsidian ST. It packs a powerful 1,000 watt motor, a top speed of over 28 miles per hour, and beefy full suspension frame. It's marketed as an off-road beast by Mokwheel, which says that its full suspension e-bikes redefine terrain, distance, and time. I'm not entirely sure of what they mean by that, but given the bike's specifications, I'm eager to discover what it can do. Join me as we dive in and learn about Mokwheel and its Obsidian e-bike. I'll give you my headline pros and cons before covering the details of the build and specifications. You'll get the full picture as I showcase the results of our standardized testing and compare them to those of similar models. I'll share some ride footage and discuss how the bike performed on the open road, and finish it all off with the final word on the Obsidian's capability, quality, and value. So let's get started. Founded in 2014, Mokwheel initially focused on electric mobility products, such as hoverboards and electric scooters, before pivoting to e-bikes with their first model, a power station e-bike called the Basalt in 2022. Mokwheel sells a modified Synwave inverter that can be plugged into an auxiliary power port on the Basalt, Scoria, and Obsidian model e-bikes, allowing them to power a wide range of devices via USB or DC 5521 outputs. This system can even supply 1,000 watts of AC power for appliances, all from the e-bike's battery. Mokwheel also sells a range of fat tire bikes, commuter-focused models, an electric folder, and an e-trike. Follow the links below to see reviews of all Mokwheel models on bikeride.com. The Obsidian is a full suspension e-bike with fat tires that's intended for off-road riding. This bike is available as a step over or as a step through, called the Obsidian ST, which we're testing. Mokwheel highlights its powerful 1,000 watt, 105 Newton meter rear hub motor, 20 amp hour battery, and full suspension setup as the main reasons riders will love the Obsidian. As I mentioned earlier, the Obsidian is compatible with the Mokwheel inverter, but this may have some negative effects on the range, which I'll discuss in more detail in the cons coming up. A sticker on the Obsidian ST I received says it's Class 2, but the bike's 1,000 watt motor and ability to do 28 miles per hour using pedal assist comply with neither Class 2 rules or e-bike definitions generally. This limits the Obsidian's legal use in some jurisdictions. The Obsidian has a UL 2271 compliant battery, and the bike is currently being tested for compliance with UL 2849. Mokwheel hopes to have this completed in the next 6 months, but at the time of writing, it lacks UL 2849 certification. It also has below average IPX4 water resistance. The Obsidian is both fast and powerful. It has a 1,000 watt rear hub motor with 105 Newton meters of torque, powered by a 20 amp hour battery. This motor easily carries the 83-pound bike up steep slopes. The top speed of 28 miles per hour is exhilarating, and combined with the adjustable air shock, it allows you to tackle bumpy roads at high speed. I was pleased to see that the Obsidian's 50mm stroke air shock is fully adjustable, offering pressure, compression, and rebound adjustments. The inclusion of compression and rebound adjustment elevates this shock above the basic shocks that are commonly found on e-bikes like this, and it allows riders to properly tune the rear suspension for different terrains. Whether you want to increase firmness on the fly to boost pedaling efficiency, or you need the shock fully open for maximum comfort, it's possible to adapt to terrain quickly. In my reviews, I regularly highlight shocks that lack rebound adjustment, which I consider a critical requirement to maintain traction and avoid getting thrown around over bumps and jumps. So it's great to see Mokwheel including a shock like this on the Obsidian. The Mokwheel has a basic dropper post, controlled by a lever under the seat. This makes it easy to adjust saddle positions while riding, dropping it for enhanced maneuverability in descents, and quickly raising it for climbs. The lever on the post is out of the way, and eliminates the need for a dropper cable. But having to take a hand off the bars to use the lever makes it less practical than traditional bar-mounted dropper levers. The Obsidian is fast and powerful, but it disappointed in the range tests, where other e-bikes with 20 amp-hour batteries and similarly powerful motors fared much better. The battery level stays steady over flat ground, but quickly drops during steeper climbs. I was surprised when I managed only 32 miles in the pedal assist level 3 range test. I was expecting more from this bike, as similar bikes with 20 amp-hour batteries have lasted 40 to 50 miles. Given this bike's power, the erratic pedal assistance was another disappointment. I'm not sure if it's the torque sensor, the controller hardware, the tuning, or a combination of some or all of those. Sometimes pedal assist felt responsive and provided quick acceleration. When it was in the right mood, pedal assist 5 would easily power the bike to 28 miles per hour, or even faster, even though the speed limit was set at 20 miles per hour. On occasion, assistance was still available at 32 miles an hour. At other times, it seemed to stick to 20 miles per hour. Also, the torque sensor was very laggy when moving at speed. If I stopped pedaling, then started again, it would take 5 to 10 seconds for assistance to kick in. This was a constant frustration. A sticker on the Obsidian's down tube states Class 2, 1000 watts. But this is confusing, as US federal law puts a 750 watt limit on e-bikes. Also, this bike is too fast for e-bike rules. Mokwheel stated in emails that the top speed can't be adjusted. But I found a second advanced menu with a speed limit setting. The bike arrived with this set to 21 miles per hour. But using pedal assist, the bike could still reach at least 28 miles per hour, on occasion hitting 32. The bottom line is that this bike is technically considered a motor vehicle in most of the US, limiting where it can be legally ridden. The Obsidian's battery is UL2271 compliant, but the bike hasn't been certified for UL2849 yet, which is disappointing given it's been in production since late 2023. The very basic IPX4 weatherproofing also means it's only protected against water splashes from any direction, so it's not protected against heavy rainfall. IPX4 is a low level of weatherproofing for a dedicated off-road bike. The Obsidian is a full suspension e-bike, designed for off-road use. It has an aluminum frame, available as a step-through, like the one I have here today, or a high step. Both come in just one size, and our ST model has a stated rider fit of 5'6" to 6'8". Mokwheel says the step-through has a 350-pound payload capacity, and the high step can carry 400 pounds. The ST comes in 3 colorways: desert camo, red and black, and the blue and gray of our test bike. We have a 130mm coil suspension fork with preload adjustment and lockup up front, and a horse-style linkage with 50mm stroke air shock at the back. The shock's air pressure, compression, and rebound are all adjustable. The Obsidian has a 48-volt electrical system, a 1000-watt rear hub motor with 105 Nm of torque, and a 20 amp-hour or 960 watt-hour battery. The included 3 amp charger takes 6 to 7 hours to fully charge the battery. In addition to the Synwave inverter I already mentioned, Mokwheel also offers a solar charging kit for the Obsidian. The bike has a thumb throttle, and pedal assist is managed by torque and cadence sensors. There's a 5-button control pad and a 2.75-inch color LCD. I'll detail these a little bit later in the review. The Obsidian rolls on 26-inch spoked aluminum rims, wearing 26 by 4-inch Chow Yang tires, which are puncture resistant but not tubeless ready, Both axles use nuts, rather than quick-release skewers or through axles. Pedal power is handled by a 170mm aluminum crankset, with a 48-tooth chainring and single-sided chain guard. The Shimano SLM 315 trigger shifter controls an Altus derailleur, shifting an 8-speed 12 to 32-tooth cassette. Braking is Tektro hydraulic disc, with 180mm rotors and TKD 171 aluminum levers, with reach adjustment via set screws. The cockpit features a 680mm handlebar and 70mm stem. Your hands rest on flared faux leather lock-on grips, with the control pad and thumb-style throttle on the left, underslung shifter on the right, and the display in the middle. Other touchpoints include the wide, comfort-padded Cell Royal saddle and a set of aluminum platform pedals. The bike has a bright integrated dual LED front light, but the rear light is powered by an external battery and must be manually turned on and off. The rear light has 3 flashing modes and 2 levels of steady light, but no brake activation. The frame has a bottle cage mount on the down tube and a mount for the optional front rack. In common with most full suspension bikes, there's no provision for a rear rack. Our test bike came with full coverage plastic fenders. The Mokwheel website says these are currently included as free extras, but of course there's no guarantee this promotion will continue. The Obsidian produced mixed results in testing, with impressive performances from its motor, but a lackluster range from the 20 Ah battery. I've compared it to other bikes with 20 Ah batteries, but have only tested one other bike with a 1000 watt rear hub motor. The others in this group have 750 watt motors, with torque outputs of 80 to 90 Newton meters. The Obsidian's ability to exceed 20 miles per hour using pedal assist gives it a small advantage over the other test bikes when we're climbing hills. I tried setting the speed limit to 20 miles per hour in the advanced menu, but the Obsidian would still go faster than that. The Obsidian's 1000 watt motor pushed it up hills at high speeds. It beat the Himaway Zebra by almost a minute, the Snapcycle R1 Pro by 42 seconds, and the Himaway C5 by 15 seconds. Only the Hero, with its unrestricted top speed, was faster than the Obsidian, needing 15 seconds less to reach the top of the hill. The Obsidian was even more impressive during the middle elevation hill climb, where it beat all the other bikes, even the Haybike Hero. The Obsidian continued its winning streak in the 0 to 20 test, where it needed just 6 seconds using pedal assist. This puts the Obsidian among the fastest bikes that I've tested, and matches the time set by the Haybike Hero and Himaway C5. It was 1 second faster than the Himaway Zebra, and it beat the Snapcycle R1 Pro by 3 seconds. After its impressive performance in the previous tests, I was expecting great things from the Obsidian in our range tests. Alas, range proved to be one of this bike's big weak points. In the Pedal Assist 5 test, the Obsidian traveled 25.4 miles and gained 1,024 feet of elevation, over 1 hour and 39 minutes. This was not the great range that I'd been hoping to see. Over the same course, the Haybike Hero and Himaway C5 bested the Mokwheel by some 11 to 12%, traveling more than 28 miles. The Mokwheel beat the Quiet Cat Lynx by half a mile, but the Lynx's higher average speed of 17 miles per hour was quite a bit higher than the Obsidian's 15.39 miles per hour. I was hoping that the Obsidian would turn things around during the Pedal Assist 3 test, but it was not to be. In 2 hours and 15 minutes, the Mokwheel traveled 31.85 miles and gained 850 feet of elevation. Another unimpressive result compared to the Haybike Hero, which recently managed 39 miles during the same test. The underwhelming performance continued in our 20 mile per hour braking test, where the Obsidian needed 20 feet to come to a stop. While this distance is perfectly acceptable from a safety standpoint, it does put the Mokwheel last in this group, and far behind the best bikes that I've tested, which needed only around 15 to 16 feet to stop from 20 miles per hour. At over 83 pounds, the Obsidian is a heavy bike, but the speed and acceleration provided by the powerful 1000 watt motor makes it feel much lighter. And with the plush air shock, it's a lot of fun over a variety of terrains. Initial acceleration is snappy with the throttle or pedal assist, and the ability to pedal to 28 miles per hour and beyond is exhilarating. Thanks to the adjustable air pressure, rebound, and compression, the shock can be set up to provide a smooth ride over uneven surfaces, and it makes seated riding comfortable, even over rocks and bumps. However, compared to that air shock, the stiff, clumsy fork is a downer. Like other coil suspension forks, it does a reasonable job of ironing out small bumps, but the rebound is harsh and it's clunky at the top of its travel. An air fork would be a much better partner for this bike's rear shock. The frame felt sturdy and flex-free, with no noticeable speed wobble. But with those 26 by 4-inch tires at each end, it's also big and heavy. While this weight and solidity provided confidence on wide gravel roads and double track, they make the bike a handful in tight single track, with big off-camber roots really throwing the bike around. In my view, the Mokwheel's assertion that the Obsidian ST suits riders from 5'6" to 6'8" is wildly inaccurate. I'm 6 feet tall, but getting a comfortable pedaling position requires having the saddle at its max height and the dropper at full extension. I highly doubt that riders over 6'2" will be comfortable on this bike. Though I appreciated the Obsidian's speed, power, and rear shock, I did find some issues as I began to push the limits. The lack of a clutch on the derailleur results in a lot of chain slap, and it could lead to dropped chains. Though there's a nice range of assistance available through the pedal assist levels, the laggy torque sensor is a major bummer on the trail, with the motor taking up to 10 seconds to kick back in, at times requiring the throttle to maintain momentum. Generally, Pedal Assist 3 was a good mid-range assistance level, but climbs steeper than about 10% required Pedal Assist 4 or 5. There's some scope to adjust the throttle speed limit and the bike's responsiveness by playing with the speed limit and intensity setting options in the second advanced menu. Unfortunately, the intensity setting only alters the initial acceleration, and it has no effect on the laggy response when you stop and start pedaling. Still, it was nice to be able to tune the acceleration through 5 levels, from relaxed start to hard launch. I'll cover the settings in more detail a bit later. My final gripe with the Obsidian is its meager IPX4 weatherproofing. A bike sold as ready for rugged off-road rides should have a higher level of protection against the wet weather that you're going to inevitably face out on the trails, not to mention having to clean the bike up afterwards. The Obsidian has a 2.75-inch color LCD and is controlled by a 5-button control pad on the left side of the cockpit. The control pad has power, up, down, headlight, and horn buttons. The power button turns the bike on or off, and is used to select items in the advanced menus. The up button increases the pedal assist level, and is used to navigate the menus. The down button decreases the pedal assist level, and it's also used to navigate the menus. The light button turns the headlight on or off, and it's used to exit the menu. And the horn button activates the digital horn. Holding the down button triggers walk mode, which rolls the bike forward slowly. The display has a circular power bar that sweeps around and changes color as you work the motor harder. Flanking this is a pair of curved 10-segment battery charge graphs. The current speed is shown inside the circle, I found the battery meter quite hard to read while riding, so you have to stop the bike to count the bars, at least until you're down to around 4. The battery level meter drops by up to 3 bars when the motor's worked hard, but it recovers when you reduce the power, making it even harder to estimate the remaining range. Luckily, the Obsidian has a good low battery warning. When it drops to 2 bars, they turn red, and the last bar starts flashing when the battery's very low. I was impressed to see the bike still had power for 3 to 4 miles after the low battery warning. You can access a second display, which shows average speed, maximum speed, trip odometer, and total mileage, by pressing and holding the down and light buttons together. Single-clicking the light button exits out of this screen. The bike has 2 advanced menus. The first is accessed by pressing the up and down buttons at the same time. This menu has brightness, unit, startup mode, reset trip, and language options. You use the up and down buttons to move through the options, and select options with the power button. You can also exit using the light button. The manual doesn't mention the second advanced menu, which is accessed by pressing the up, down, and light buttons together. This menu has options for the speed limit, power assisted gear, a voltage level limit, the wheel diameter, tachometer magnets, riding mode, intensity settings, and a factory reset. The speed limit setting primarily affects the throttle. With this set to 20 miles per hour, the pedal assist generally stopped at 28 miles per hour, but it sometimes exceeded this. When it was set to 28 miles per hour, the throttle goes up to 28, and the pedal assist can exceed 30 miles per hour when you're going downhill. When I asked Mokwheel about this second menu, they replied that due to local legal and regulatory requirements, they were unable to provide functionality for changing the speed limit. So if you want to change the speed limit setting, it's up to you to comply with local regulations or deal with the consequences. Having said this, the 1000 watt motor and occasional ability to exceed 28 miles per hour using the pedal assist out of the box mean that the Obsidian already doesn't comply with e-bike rules. Well, we've reached the end of my review of the Mokwheel Obsidian, and I have to say that riding this bike was an interesting experience. It's definitely a beast that's exciting, fast, and solid feeling over gravel roads and rocky double track. However, the size and weight also limit its usefulness on tight technical terrain, leaving much to be desired if you think the Obsidian could replace your mountain bike. I was unimpressed with some of the same things many brands get wrong with these kind of bikes, namely the budget fork and the lack of a derailleur clutch. Add in the poor range, laggy pedal sensor, erratic top speed, and the delayed UL certification, and my gripes about a lack of information from the brand, and the Obsidian definitely isn't the perfect off-road bike. Still, it was powerful, and it aced our hill climb and acceleration tests, proving that it can hang with the best, as long as you're not hoping to ride for more than 25 miles at a time. Price-wise, the Obsidian is not a cheap bike. You can find more affordable options, as well as higher quality hardtail bikes that can compete with the Mokwheel in terms of performance, especially range. However, with its sturdy frame and adjustable rear shock, it outperforms some more expensive bikes that we've tested recently, such as the Haybike Hero. So what do you think about the Obsidian? Are you riding one right now and loving it? Or do you think you could do better with something from a different brand? If you're looking at buying the Obsidian, let me know how my pros and cons affected your decision. I love hearing your comments and questions, so keep them coming. Plus, if you made it this far, how about leaving me a thumbs up to tell me that you liked the video, and even subscribing and turning on notifications, so you never miss a new review. If you're hungry for more, head to bikeride.com, where you'll find hundreds of reviews and our best e-bike lists. You can also check out cycling events near you, learn to fix your own bike with our repair guides, and hang out with other cyclists from around the globe in our forums. There's always a new bike to review, so I'll see you all soon.